Is a lack of peace associated with a lack of trust? Hi folks, Aisha here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are continuing our verse analysis, and today's verse that we're looking at is Isaiah 26, verse 3. Before we get started, I thought I'd share a little some. Anyways, most recently, I had my share of health challenges, and through it all, like, I'm not boasting or anything, but through it all, like, I have been able to manage to keep in good spirits, right? Like, you wouldn't really know because I'm mostly always smiling or cracking a joke, or, people have asked, and sometimes I even ask myself, like, sis, how could you be smiling and going through what you're going through? Like, on a serious note, is you crazy? I'm not crazy, just saying the thought has crossed my mind. Like, how, right? Like, you could share jokes, and to be honest, like, I could be on the phone praying for somebody else while going through my own stuff, and this has happened. Like, I won't make it up, right? But for me, like, my answer has always been, it's nothing else or nobody else but God, because at the end of the day, if I waste energy thinking about the circumstances and feeling sorry for myself, like, what good is that going to do on a serious note, other than sink me in depression and probably make me suicidal or something? And I wouldn't want that. I don't think anybody would. And people gotta understand that it's, like, so important that when you're going through trials, to cover yourself and also to grow closer to God, because the devil is real, demons are real, the thoughts that would come in your mind is real. It's like a real battle in the mind, because what ends up happening is that the devil kind of, like, emphasizes your problem and make it seem bigger than God, and, like, no problem is too big for God. That's something you have to remember. And I think that is something that gets a lot of Christians, through a lot of the challenges they face, because we face a lot of challenges, and it's not easy, but at the end of the day, we know that God is with us and that He will see us through, and He didn't bring us this far to leave us. And whatever testing that we might face or trials that we might face is to bring us closer to Him, is for us to have a testimony to share with others of His goodness. So through it all, we just have to keep trusting Him. And I know for a fact that me being in good spirits while going through my stuff has been an encouragement to others, and I gotta thank God for that and bless God for that, because honestly, it was only by His strength that's within me that I'm able to smile and laugh and make jokes about things, So it's just my encouragement that if you're going through anything right now, or whenever you're facing anything, just trust God, because He's going to see you through. Anyway, so we're going into our verse analysis. I'm looking down because, like, I've prepared everything here, so why not? So, the verse, as I said, is Isaiah 26, verse 3. We are looking at it in 3 different translations. So, the first one is Good News Translation, and it says, "You, Lord, give perfect peace to those who keep their purpose firm and put their trust in you." King James Version says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee." And the NIV Version says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." So a good theme for this particular portion of scripture for me is perfect peace. The message that I got from this particular text is that if my mind is fixed on Christ and I trust Him, He will keep me in perfect peace. Like a peace that just surpasses all understanding. Because as I said, people like question, like, how can you smile and laugh and pray for others while you're going through this? Because I'm keeping my mind on Christ. I'm keeping my mind on God. And I'm trusting Him to see me through this. So what happens in return is that He keeps me in perfect peace. And that is awesome. So the context. Now, for the context, I would have read entire Isaiah 26 to get context. So I'm just going to share some of the points that came out when I read this portion of scripture. So what I gathered is that Isaiah 26 is a song of trust in the Lord's protection. It is to be sung in the time of judgment, when the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Verse 9. That's where I got that from. The righteous makes an analogy about being like a pregnant woman waiting to give birth. And I got that from verse 17. In the end, the righteous enters the gates of heaven, and the inhabitants of the earth are punished for their iniquity. So that's basically the context. It's basically a song, and we have a situation where the righteous people, they are making an analogy about a pregnant woman waiting to give birth. But in the end of it, they're able to enter into the gates of heaven, although they might have went through all that they went through. In the end, they enter the gates of heaven, and the inhabitants of the earth are punished for their iniquity. That's a lot. I think that's really powerful. The question I had when I would have finished reading it is a lack of peace associated with a lack of trust? Ponder on that a bit. Leave your comments below. Let me know where your minds are at when you think of this question. Is a lack of peace, that's what I'm saying, is a lack of peace associated with a lack of trust? So, like, if I don't have peace about whatever my situation is, does that mean that I don't trust God? That's my question. That is something that's gonna, of course, lead to further studies, thank God. So, application. For me, I've learned this about myself. Like, when I am in a challenging situation, I find it hard to pray on a serious note. Like, me and God don't be on good terms. Because I just be like, why am I going through this again? It's be very annoying. So it's be hard for me to pray. But what helps when I go through this challenging situation is playing gospel music. Um, Honestly, it just puts me in a nice atmosphere, and you feel as if like God is with you, although you really want to talk to you. Right? So for me, I think it's important to look for avenues to remain connected to God. I don't know if all the time I can turn to playing gospel music. I don't know if it's going to keep working, or I'll have to find another avenue to remain connected to God when I'm going through a difficult time. So that's basically my application, exploring other avenues to be connected to God in difficult times, because personally praying is just not it. It really isn't. At least not allowed. Maybe I do sometimes prayer journal, you know, um, but praying aloud is not it. Like I don't feel like talking at all. Because I mean, at the end of the day, anything we face, God allows it to happen. He allows it. So like, bro, why you keep allowing this thing? Don't you think I'm tired? Anyways, um, that's basically it for my application. And for you guys, I just, again, examine this particular um, scripture and then examine your life and see what you can apply after studying this particular text. Verse analysis only looks at the text, but you're going to have to look at, of course, um, the preceding verses and the following verses. Oh my god, I can't remember the word. Anyways, you gotta look at the verses that comes before and the verses that comes after that particular text to get the context, to help you to further understand what is going on um, when you're doing verse analysis. Anyways, that brings me to the end of today's video. I trust that this Bible study was one that enriched your life or blessed you in some way. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining me. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so that you're informed every time a video is uploaded. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, folks. Bye.